candy I'll be referring to in this video is a sweet edible putty that acts as a time release so that the worker bees become acquainted with the new queen before she's released to the general population. Without this time release, the bees won't have the opportunity to calm down, get used to their new queen's scent, and therefore they'd be more likely to kill her. Here is a popular way you should never make queen candy, with Karo syrup and powdered sugar. First reason, although I'd imagine it's inconsequential due to the small amount we're giving them, powdered sugar contains cornstarch, something honeybee guts are not equipped to break down. Additionally, Karo syrup with powdered sugar will make what seems to be a great candy. It's malleable and plenty sweet. But in the hive, this soft candy quickly transforms into the rock. I made this mistake and it led to the additional work of having to go back and release each queen by ripping the screen off her cage. This poses a flight risk, and also by opening the colony is more likely to agitate the hive. A defensive hive is not an ideal welcoming party to a new queen. This is how I do make queen candy. Here are the ingredients you'll need. Fine granulated sugar, a bottle of your own local honey. Here I'm using a bottle that I forgot about for years. This honey is quite thick, so I'll be using all 12 ounces, but if yours is thinner, you might get away with using less. For the sugar, I use half this bag, which means I'll be using 2 pounds. So 12 ounces of honey with 2 pounds of fine granulated sugar. I also picked up these optional 5.5 ounce snack cups. I spray them with PAM so that when I need the candy, I don't waste as much time trying to peel it out of its container. And quick disclaimer, I've heard experienced beekeepers warn about using honey in the mix because it's possible to spread disease. I hope that by using local honey, I wouldn't be exposing my bees to anything they aren't already exposed to. That and honey is reported to be antibacterial, but I'm no scientist, so use your own discretion. As far as equipment, we'll need a measuring cup for the sugar, a blender for converting the granulated sugar to powdered sugar consistency, and a mixer with a single-arm dough hook. Any mixing accessory with more than one arm risks burning the motor out. So first things first, we pour the 2 pounds of fine granulated sugar into the blender and blend it up till it's a powdery consistency. Secondly, we'll microwave the honey. 30 seconds is overkill, 15 to 20 seconds is probably better in our attempt to make the honey more runny. Runny honey will mix better, as well as being a bit easier on our mixer. Then we'll add the sugar into the mixing bowl, add the honey on top, and get to kneading it. Once it looks like it's fairly kneaded, we'll turn the mixer off and we can mix the last amount up by hand. This is what the desired consistency should be somewhat like. It's a bit Play-Doh-like, a bit maybe on the softer side. You might have a slight worry that it's a little bit too soft, but it will slightly firm up overnight if you're going to be using it the next day. And if you put it in right now, it'd probably be fine too. And here's our final product, and the cup's ready for queens. These are samples of the different types of queen candy. I put them on this paper about 2 weeks ago and I'm testing them here. This is from the queen producer. It looks crumbly, but in real life there's some softness to it. Here's my first variety with the Karo syrup and the powdered sugar. It's quite hard. It's another Karo syrup, powdered sugar. I think I made that one a little runnier, but it didn't matter. It still turns to concrete. Honey with powdered sugar and honey with the powdered sugar I made that doesn't have cornstarch. Those both seem to have helped their softness. And although this has been a week, whatever it's been, over a week, almost 2 weeks, it seems to be more rapid, the drying of the sugar candy, inside the colony, because these, I've left them at room temperature, and when they're inside the colony, they're, you know, roughly 90 degrees. They dehydrate a lot quicker. There's the Karo syrup, powdered sugar. Stuff is very hard. Finally, I'd like to demonstrate in slow motion how we extract the queens from a package bee cage and apply our queen candy. This cage is obviously empty of bees because I don't exactly wish to have 4 pounds of confused bees in my office. Here's the jar that has syrup to feed the bees while in transit with these aluminum tabs. Fold those out, and you can slide the queens out. Here's a cork pick I made from a welding rod, ground it to a sharp tip. It's caked with queen candy and pollen. Take the queen cage, slide the bees off. That cork I could get with my fingernails, but just to show you, if it was a little deeper, I'd pick it out with the pick here. I'd go with fingernails. Pull that cork out and cover it quickly with my finger. Queen's still in there. There's the queen candy. If the queen traveled in that cage, I would put just that amount of sugar. If for some reason the queen was dead and I needed to introduce a new queen to these package bees, I would add a bit more queen candy. Maybe I'd put a ball of it on the outside to give her a little bit more time for the bees to get acquainted with her. Now this is video of us doing it for real.
Can you even see it?
Yeah, right there.